So worried parents have gathered at Parktown Boys High School tonight, hoping to get answers on the drowning of a pupil during a school camp. Enoch Mbianzi's body was found on Friday, 2 days after he said to have fallen into the water while on a makeshift raft with other grade 8 pupils. Parktown Boys is facing questions over its handling of the tragedy. The Human Rights Commission on Monday confirming it will help the Mbianzi family to take legal action over their son's death. Let's get you more on that meeting with parents at Parktown Boys High. Bring in ENC reporter Linda Kuhle. What answers has the school put forward to those worried parents tonight?
Well, as far as we have gathered, Tembegile, from some of the parents that were coming from that meeting, they are indeed left with more questions than the answers they came out to seek. And of course, we do have someone who was inside observing that particular meeting, and that's the Gauteng Education Department, Steve Mabona. Steve, we're just going to get to it. What exactly happened there? Because the parents were, of course, expecting that they'd get some clarity on what transpired, but it seems that they now have more questions than they had when they went in there.
Look, the purpose of the meeting was actually to assure the parents of the support that the school will be providing, and they've already started to do that. They had to account on why they stopped, academic processes. They had to explain that they had to, assist the learners with the process of counseling and make sure that, the learners are ready for tomorrow, which, that tomorrow they have decided that they are starting with their academic process, that is teaching and learning will commence tomorrow. So, and just to seek support from the parents, guide them to say, look, they need to look for, just observe them very closely. In the event there's something that they suspect, so that they can then get more professional assistance. Though they went through the process of counseling, but they felt that they need to, observe them very closely, so that in the event they need support, then the school will be in a position to do that, because the department was also present in terms of providing counseling.
That's all very well, but Steve, telling the parents what has been happening today with the suspension of all of that. But I think the main inquiry from the parents who their children were also in that particular camp were trying to find out is exactly what were some of those activities that led to the death of Enoch. And as a Department of Education, is it all fair that the parents themselves are not given all of these facts as to what exactly happened, because these are their children that were there?
But you also need to understand that this is the first time that the school had an opportunity to interact with these parents. And
they were supposed to give them answers then?
No, definitely. Remember, you need to acknowledge that there's a process of an independent inquiry that is going to take place. So they had to assure them and also indicate that, look, in the event your children are in a position to can say something, we need to support them, but take them through the process, because the law firm has already been appointed, so they will be in a position to say, these are the witnesses that we want, let's interact with them. So parents should be in a position to understand that we need them to assist these learners so that they're in a position to speak. Those parents that also want to interact in any information that they might have had, they will be in a position to speak as well. So it was a process of assurance, but also indicating that this is what transpired, but we cannot go in detail and explain on what transpired, because there's a probe which will be then, taking us forward to say, yes, indeed, this is what transpired, and what are we doing to move forward?
And Steve, one of the parents we spoke to said, how can they be sure if they are not given the answers to say that they will be bringing their children here with their school bags, and that at the end of the day they won't be fetching them with body bags? That's the exact words that the parents used. How can they be sure if they are not given the information of what exactly happened, and they're basically being told, wait, we'll tell you when the investigations are done? But in the interim, they're still expected to bring their children here. Is that the stance of the Department of Education then, to say that they must wait for those investigations and not get the basic details of what happened at that camp, particularly with their children, that the allegations that they have been raising to them as parents?
No, the details will hamper the process of investigation. So you don't want to go into the details, because anything that you're going to say there, it might then affect what is going to be happening in the investigation. So that's where the problem is, for you to reveal what happened actually at that camp.
All right, Pastor Steve, let's just move very quickly here. There is an emergency vehicle that is, of course, coming through Tembekile, and as far as we understand, there is a parent who was not feeling well after that particular meeting. Pastor Steve, does this at all have anything to do with the stress that the parents have been feeling? Just take us through that. What happened to this particular parent that's been taken to hospital at the moment?
No, look, we understand that the parent was not feeling very well, and he managed to interact with the school management to say, I'm not feeling well. Then the emergency services was then called to say, let them come and observe. But they have actually observed, and by the last time when I checked, they said he was doing well. They are not even probably going to take him to hospital, because they have already assessed, and they have actually stabilized him. He was better when I checked with them. They said they might not even need to take him to the medical center or anything which has to do with that. So it's quite an unfortunate, situation that we find ourselves with. But we hope that he will be doing very well.
All right, Steve, let's leave it there for now for the time constraints. But indeed, some of those parents have raised all of those questions in Tembekile. Just to reiterate that particular question I was asking Steve, one of the parents did say that we send our kids here with their school bags, and now how do we know that they are not going to come back in body bags? That's one of the concerns raised by one of the parents, but more so other parents basically saying that they haven't been told anything. They do not understand why the school is remaining mum about the details of what exactly transpired in that particular camp.
ENC reporter Lindokuhle Xulu live